Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Oh, it's a Not the Weekend podcast. And if you did go down the road in your iPod, oh, then you shall listen to our ramblings, oh. I don't know why I did that.
The podcast is being brought to you by Classic Folk on Radio
Why isn't
4.
there a Classic Folk? That's a very
BBC
good...
4.
Why isn't there a Folk FM?
Smooth folk.
There's probably Absolute Folk.
Smooth Folk would be a very good thing. It's all about waxing.
Acid folk.
Well, you moisturise very well, don't you?
I do my best. I think there is a Folk FM, but it's digital type of an affair. It's not a full scaler.
Oh, right.
Not that makes it any less.
I get the feeling people who are into folk would shun the digital and just want analogue.
Yeah.
It would be seen as sort of sacrilegious to their cause.
No, I agree with that. I'm a bit of a folk enthusiast myself. Not many people know this.
Who's your favourite?
My favourite folkie? Well, that's a good... I used to be very keen on Liza Carthy. But I like the old shanties.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Like which ones?
Any old traditional shanty rather than some...
Rather than the remixes.
Yeah, I like, something that sounds like it's actually people on board ship.
Mm-hmm.
And in Birmingham we used to do a lot of canal shanties, which were very popular.
What?
No, I made that up. I've lied
I've got
early.
a couple of bath shanties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a shower shanty. I've even got a, what are those French things that you have next to a loo?
A bidet.
A bidet shanty.
I've got a flannel shanty. That's how small I've got.
A wet white shanty.
That's it. I'm leaving it at wet wipe.
A sip shanty.
Stopping.
I like wet wipe. We'll have to cut that out now. We won't. Because what the great thing about this is no matter how wrong it goes, we never cut anything out. Because, you know why? Because we want you to know what we're like.
We're fallible.
We don't want to offer you some polished Jerry Seinfeld type of a front.
Eat right.
Yeah. Take the warts as well. The warts and the verrucas are included, ladies and gentlemen.
And actually, Frank, I think we should try and get some pictures that we've been sent in onto I don't know,
don't over technicalise
the webosphere or whatever it is.
Don't
Anyway,
over technicalise me.
a man has sent an email in with some pictures of you. It's not you; it's a lookalikey, as they would have said on 90s TV. It's a guy in a crop top. Would you say a crop top? A slightly camp-looking
The guy
gentleman?
described it as something different, didn't he?
He said it's a belly shirt.
I think it's known as a belly shirt, but I've never heard that phrase
It's not
before.
a belly shirt, it's a crop top.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's a crop top.
So it's a man in a
It says-
crop. It's a middle-aged man in a crop top, isn't it? In a club.
And he says hi hater and bye hater, which I'm assuming is like for...
We should say Bye's B-Y-E. He's not a bye hater. I don't want you to think that.
he certainly doesn't look like he's a bye hater.
No, he looks like he's a boy embracer.
Yeah, he's...
A boy embracer is a bit like a boy racer, but not quite so aggressive.
I'm not sure. He looks like he might be...
Anyway, we
Have
should...
you ever worn a crop top?
I've not deliberately, but I've worn things that have ridden up.
A couple of
That's
sizes
what
too
you-
small.
Things do ride up on me quite a lot because I have no chest really to hold them. I have no tapering in the upper torso.
This is why you shouldn't shave your body hair.
I don't.
I thought you said earlier you did.
No, that was when I was going to host on Smooth Folk FM. I'll do anything for work, but yes. So what was I talking about? Folk music. No, the man in the... Does it look like me? You can never tell what looks like you, can you?
I think he looks like you.
You must have had situations where people have been impersonators of you, where people, like you go to these websites where you can hire people who look identical to famous people. Have you ever met anyone who's your professional impersonator?
No, I don't. I don't know if I'm at that level where I'd get a professional impersonator. I've seen, obviously, like Alistair McGowan does me and stuff like that, but he doesn't endeavour to look like me. Well, he couldn't, could he, with his his crow's face. How could he? Whereas my face is squidgy and round, his is sharp and angular. And relax. I like him, don't get me wrong, I like him a lot. But I also think there's not enough lookalike stuff on audio.
Yeah, we don't do enough of that.
Yeah, I think there's almost none on radio and podcasts.
There's not enough spot the difference on radio.
Yeah.
That would be... Can I say, welcome to the show, Holly. You've broken the arm off the chair, which every person has to do.
That's exactly the sort of visual joke I was aiming at for that moment.
Exactly. We've got lookalikes, we've got visual gags, we've got it all.
Yeah, that is the wonky chair.
What about this then? The Sparrowhawk.
Very good.
I'm doing some hand shadow puppets at the moment.
With no shadow.
No shadow.
No, I don't need a shadow. This is radio.
Audio, yeah. Oh, what's become of us?
So what was it? Yeah, so there's a man wearing a hater T-shirt.
Yeah, hi hater, bye hater.
How do you deal with haters?
Well, haters, I should say, in case anyone is non-aware of this, it's a term. It's a relatively new term. Is it? Hate? It used to be player haters originally, didn't it?
Oh right.
And it meant when you just hated anyone who's a bit of a player, anyone who'd done well and was.
Oh,
No,
right.
I think a hater is somebody who's just negging you the whole time.
Right.
Who's whatting you?
Negging you, like being negative about you.
No, but a hater, is it normally successful people that they hate?
Yeah. Well, they just hate anyone. They'll just if they hate you, they're a hater.
You know, I mean, I used to sit and think to myself sometimes, if I had a short meditation on Nazi Germany, I used to think, how did they manage to recruit people who would do such terrible, terrible things in Nazi Germany? And then you can look at any newspaper website, look at the comments after articles, and you think, no, there's plenty of these people about. Yeah. We wouldn't have any trouble finding horrible people. They're everywhere.
It's just luckily now there's YouTube comments to really.
Yeah, so they're the haters, I think. So I'd say I was anti-hater, but
you're a hater.
I am a hater, and yes.
My dad used to collect lawnmowers, and there's a famous brand called a Hater. Just saying.
Did he like them?
Just saying.
The haters.
He'd say, so
No.
hi hater, bye hater would mean something very different in the lawn mowing community.
Wouldn't it?
It'd mean hi specific brand of lawnmower, goodbye specific brand of lawnmower.
Yeah, well, I'm calling this a hater hiatus.
Is it? Are we going to stop that?
How odd that that must be a surname then. It's not called a hater because it hates grass. Is that the idea?
It was a brand.
Yeah, but
Right,
it wouldn't
like
have to be
John
a
Deere.
surname.
It wasn't a surname. No, it probably was a surname.
No, I like the idea that it was a grass hater.
Oh right, yeah.
What do you think? Well, a length hater. Anyway,
That's a different thing.
does it look like me is what I'm asking you, because we can never recognise our own lookalikes.
I think it looks a bit like you, yeah.
I think from the bottom of the t-shirt to the top of the trousers, it looks a lot like you.
Okay.
I think that's the bit the guy was going for with the lookalike.
I notice on the
recognises your
website,
torso
obviously the
more than
website's an American site, so they don't identify as looking as me. It just says old man in hater shirt. Can I just point that out?
You've got a birthday coming up. You do not need this kind of sledging, do you?
No, exactly. But it's a funny picture, and we'll put it up on our website, and you'll be able to. You can listen and look that up probably at the same time.
We'll
This is
try,
the 21st century. I think we'd all agree with that.
I don't know how people have got those skills, but I'm aware that they do.
Yeah, there's probably a button in your hover car that you can press that'll bring it in.
Oh, we were promised so much,
Oh
weren't we?
man, I felt certain we'd have hover cars by now.
You know what we've got?
I got rid of all my tyres.
We've got suitcases on wheels.
I
That's what we
sold
got.
all my tyres to the township vigilantes in Johannesburg, thinking that we would have hover cars by now.
Although the phone-to-phone, the handheld face phone call on, like, the Apple phone that you can do, that is the future, isn't it? I mean, I remember that
don't
being
always-
on, like, Tomorrow's
but
World or something.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've taken phone calls in places where I don't want people to see me.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done it, but
Have you?
the fact that it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
in the
Everyone's
bath.
answered the phone on the loo once.
Yeah. I've done
yeah.
various text messaging on there.
I have
I
done
get
that.
a lot of office work done on the loo.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the
Admin time.
iPhone.
Yeah.
I might
Revolutionised
sometimes I'll be
iPhone.
in there singing a toilet shanty, and the phone goes. Just having a quick shanty, and the phone goes, and I think I actually I tend not to. I don't like the
Yeah, but
idea.
if you have to take it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and on those occasions, surely you could just angle it upwards, and no one would know you were sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, but the faces you do.
No, you'd have to lay off the faces for the duration of the phone call.
Yeah. Have a little siesta.
Yeah. What you don't want is a high... If you've got a raised cistern, you don't want that as a backdrop.
No.
No,
What
but...
are they called? A drop?
Those Victorian.
There's a good name for them.
Is
Or
there
like
the
a
high
drop
one?
flush
A
or
drop
something
flush
like
or
that. It's something like
Sounds
Yeah,
like
you don't
sounds like
want
something
to-
at a water park.
that. Nice.
You don't want a drop flush as your wallpaper, as
No.
it were.
That sounds
That's
like
my
something
motto.
entirely different,
Oh, it's been a day for mottos.
hasn't it? I don't know if you... have you ever left anything weird in a hotel or found anything weird in a hotel?
I left my heart in San Francisco,
Oh, really?
but that was... I went to an awful convention.
Wasn't that bad?
It was. But have I don't think I've ever. I'm very. I've left a lot of. Actually, I've left about 4 charges
Oh, right, yeah.
in hotels.
Charges.
Charges. Then I've been unable to attend the jousting tournament I was on my way to.
A lot of travel jousting, don't you?
Yeah,
You've got a
A travel
collapsible
jouster is
pole.
collapsible, yeah.
yeah. I always. I've gone around the country jousting. It's much neglected as a sport.
There was a point where our household had probably 8 Nokia chargers because I was buying them every time I forgot to take one and then getting back home and thinking that I didn't have... Yeah, but I...
Yeah, I've got so many from having to buy them when I've left them. I've started to plait them. Yeah.
That's the lyrics from your new folk song, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got them in braids.
I braided my charges.
My charger lead is braided sweet. Fold a riddle die, hey. That's the trouble. It's folk songs need to step into the 21st century.
The reason I asked about what stuff you...
My hover car
Still
is
going.
swinging free. No, sorry. I'm stuck with it now. I would put my finger in my ear if I didn't have headphones on.
Don't let me stop.
I don't want to put my finger in my headphone. That's probably it's got electrics in it.
So I thought that was one of your updated folk songs that you were starting.
No, enough now.
I don't want to put my finger in my headphone. It's,
Yeah, well,
that's off a new Ralph
you asked
McTell
this-
album.
You asked this question. Sorry, Holly.
Just said with a lute.
No, we're off again. Yeah, there's
With a
various things.
to the lascivious pleasing of a lute.
Various things being left in hotel. I always leave quite boring things like old T-shirts and like a digital
I
recorder.
left
or something.
3 England scarves in my South African hotel when I left the
Why?
World Cup, thinking I won't be needing those again.
Oh, really?
Because I determined I would never ever watch England again under any circumstances.
Oh, I
I calmed.
I thought you were doing that as a memento for the cleaners.
No,
Some
it's
people
more of a
leave some
memento
coins.
mori, if you receive my meaning.
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
Now, there was a thing in the paper, wasn't there, about unusual things left in...
Yeah, and really unusual. I mean, things like a hamster. that's unusual.
But what I like about it is the hamster had a name called Frederick, but that hamster would have been unable to communicate the fact that it was called Frederick
Oh, yeah.
unless someone had left a note saying, "Please find a home for Frederick."
Or a name tag, like on a dog.
Yeah, called
Or- Or a child at a festival. I don't know if you know this nowadays. It's quite common. If you have a child at a
You
festival.
tattoo them before you go.
Yeah, we wrote our phone number on his arm in
What,
case he got lost.
an
at
indelible
the-
marker pen.
Yeah, permanent marker pen right on his arm. No, it was just in pen. But yeah,
That's a good idea.
clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're full of them.
You
We're
should get
full of them.
actually one of those sort of dog tags
Yeah,
with that on,
well, that'll be the next step for the festival.
or just get one of those tracer thing. You know, when they for pets when they put a sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah, and pet insurance.
Yeah,
for
all
if he needs any
those
operations on it.
serial numbers that you have on your cars that you just have to shine a light on, and you could And you
Just put a barcode on it.
Well, actually,
don't take it.
One
That's my motto. Just don't take it. Leave it with the neighbours.
One of the things listed.
Frankie says, "Don't take it."
One of the things listed on the newspaper article about things left in hotels was an 18-month-old boy was accidentally left behind in a Winchester travel lodge.
I hope he had the number on his arm.
I don't know if he did, but they thought they
How
each
could
thought the
that
other
happen?
one. Well,
Oh.
here's how they each thought that the other one had put him in the car seat. I mean,
What they should have done is looked at
It's
the car
lapsed.
seat
yeah. There's
for evidence.
There's a really easy test, isn't there?
Did
How
I ever
big's
tell you
their
that
car?
story about when I went out with a woman and she was going to move in with me, so I went to get her some of her clothes and a cat from her house. And I had this old Irish driver who used to drive me called Jerry. It was a very funny bloke. And we got in the car and we were going along for a bit. And I said, "Hold on a minute, where's the cat? Where's the cat?" And he said, send the boot." I said, "Stop the car, stop." I said, "I can't believe you put it in the boot." And he said, "There's a fierce amount of air in there."
Did the cat survive?
Oh, yeah, the cat was fine. They can live in a
9
boot for
lives.
ages.
How did it find moving house?
You've heard of Puss in Boots, surely. Oh, man, I make myself laugh at times. I used to stay at a place in Southend where there was so much human hair on the inside of the shower curtain that I reckon you could have peeled the curtain away and the human hair would have stayed there as a human hair partition.
I was once in a swimming pool and someone said there was a toupee, but it wasn't. It was just a filter had coughed. And it was rank.
A filter
It
of
looked like a
cough?
bit of wig.
Oh, no.
Gross.
I-
This has quite turned my stomach.
I love that story. My favourite Left Behind... Do you know the Jermaine Pennant story?
Oh, he forgot
His car, it's
Porsche,
like a car.
didn't he?
He was playing for Real Zaragoza, and they after he left, they found a Porsche on the railway station car park that had been there for 5 months, and they phoned him up and said, "This is your car." He said, "I don't even remember owning a Porsche."
Wow. Even the car parking money would be plaguing me for that time.
And the keys were on the seat. That's all.
No.
It's a fabulous story of wanton modern footballer type stuff.
Oh.
How on earth is that possible? That wasn't nicked.
Well,
How did that Porsche not get stolen in that 5 months? If the keys are on the seat, that's ridiculous.
Well, I think, you're judging it on broken Britain. I think in
I'm
Spain
I'm judging it on bad criminals in Spain. That's to me is an obvious drive.
they're all retired, the ones in Spain. They're all British ones who are now taking it easy out there. I think the Spaniards are a nation of, toreadors and explorers. They're not car thieves.
I like the idea that a retired criminal from Britain was walking past, saw the keys on the seat of the Porsche and thought, 15 years ago I'd have had that when I was working.
Anyway, back to my watercolours. But if you found anything that was valuable in a hotel, what would you do?
I find it weird that you could, though, because between the previous guest and you, there's a cleaner that presumably hoovers up everything.
Yeah, but I'm guessing like the 18-month boy must have fell down the back of a chair or something, so the cleaner missed him. I don't know how thorough they are.
If I found an 18-month boy, I'd probably hand it in at reception.
No, finders, keepers, losers, weepers. That's the deal.
That's a good
I
point.
know,
That stands
but
up in a court of law.
Yeah, but
Does it?
we don't know that the equipment had been left behind. There would be no clothes for him, no boggy.
Yeah,
He'd be a
you go
burden.
and get it all.
It would be a burden.
So no, I don't have him in,
Who
but
left a £1 million emerald ring in a hotel bathroom.
I wouldn't hand that in.
No, I mean, she took it off to wash her hands. How rich are you? That's like a Jermaine Pennant level story, isn't it? That, of course.
No, I think you could do that with a ring, couldn't you?
She ran
Actually,
back
would
7
I hand
minutes
it?
later.
Oh, really?
And it was still
And it,
had gone.
kind of gone.
How many minutes?
7.
Wowee.
That's quick.
What country was that in?
Hong Kong.
Oh, well, there you go.
Am I right?
There you go.
No, but there's a lot of poor people in Hong
Maybe
Kong.
it is in Hong Kong, but I think the Hong Kong police were involved in it.
Yeah.
Can you speak into the mic? You're starting
Oh,
to
sorry.
sound like your voice is off.
It is off.
Yeah, it is a bit. I wasn't going to mention it.
Way past his sell by date.
I think it should go back in the fridge.
Yeah. It was Hong Kong. The Four Seasons Hotel in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's posh.
She must have been
Oh,
drunk.
is it?
I reckon she was drunk.
But if you
posh
imagine,
one.
there's
She's got a
poverty,
£1
isn't
million
there?
ring on it, you
There's
think.
poverty in Hong Kong as
Yeah.
well. So, if the cleaner says that, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's probably feed her family forever.
It'd feed mine forever, yes.
If I found it, you know what? I think I might hand it in.
Do you?
Yeah, otherwise I think it would nag at me.
Yeah.
I don't need the money.
Also,
Why?
it would be listed as theft, and people would be able to find it because somehow they can identify diamonds even when they're cut again.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's true. I found a wallet once with, or a purse with 28 quid in it. And, a proper purse with what I would call, I don't think this is the official title, it's what I always call a giraffe fastener.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
They look like, those two things on the top of a giraffe's head?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they are. Are they antennae?
No, I know what you're talking about now.
Are they antennae?
Ears.
Yeah, they're
No, they've got ears. They're a separate
They're phone masts.
Is that what they are?
They pick up
Well,
better.
they must have
That's because they're so tall.
great
they've
reception
got
up
to deal
there.
with Nokia and stuff. They've got to deal with O2.
They, they always look like that. Those two things have been sort of combed together, combed to a point.
Yeah.
And that's what the fastener is on the purse. You with me?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They look like sort of two baubles having an arm wrestle.
Yeah. Another thing they look like.
Or two swan neck bollards from the Calder and Hebel navigation fastened together.
Yes, and that.
Okay, good.
Someone will let us know what is properly called, that kind of clasp.
I don't know what those fluffy things with the ribbon coming off them that you stick. And you get them sort of for as publicity things.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they're called. I tried
Freebies.
I tried to Google them the other day and I didn't know what they were
freebies,
called.
What are fluffy things with a ribbon
Okay,
coming off them?
it's a little fluffy thing, and then it's got a ribbon coming off it, and on that ribbon is usually like...
the name of a charity?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Ah,
the
yes.
sports centre or whatever, and they give them out, and it's sort of like a sort of upgrade of a sticker. Do you know what I'm talking
love
I
about?
loads.
do
them,
know,
don't
yeah.
you?
But
But
you're
I
right.
don't know what they're called.
No, but someone will let us know. That is the great thing about this show, is someone out there knows everything.
The Oracle.
It is. The combined knowledge of our listenership is beyond Wikipedia.
But they wouldn't have a 2-day blackout.
They might do. There's quite a lot of heavy drinkers
They've had a big weekend.
amongst them, I have to say. So, speaking of living the high life, one of our presenters has been to Bermuda.
Indeed, we even had an email from someone that had seen me there, calling me the lad. I saw the lad himself.
It's a long time since I've had an email like that.
No, it's nice.
What do I get? Old man in belly shirt.
Yeah, tough. It's a tough comparison for you
It
to
is.
say that.
I'm over it.
I did. I went to Bermuda to do some comedy gigs, and yeah, it was
I have
all
to
right.
ask the question, is there a preponderance of shorts in Bermuda?
Yes, a lot of the men wear shorts and high socks. I was teasing them, saying it's it's a ridiculous little island of man boys, sort of like scouts and stuff. And it is a ridiculous island. 22 miles. Did you know that? It's only small.
I thought it was further away than that.
22 miles.
What did you row?
I think you went to the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, that you've got a bit mixed up.
And, and much to my amusement...
Was there a lot of motorcycling going on?
Was there a lot of sand in the test tubes of different colours?
So, no, but I don't think I'd know a Bermuda short. What's the distinction?
Well, it's not like a Hawaiian short. It's a smart, quite tailored-looking short.
Is there such a thing as an Hawaiian short?
Well, this Hawaiian shirt, like a sort of a brightly patterned summery thing.
I know the
Bermuda
shirt,
short
yeah.
is more like almost like a tailored chino short that
With
you
a
could
turn up, maybe?
you could have a turn up, or you could have it just straight.
Could you have a pleated front?
I believe they have a pleated front.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, one could golf at the best establishments in those kind of...
I realise now I should have brought you some Bermuda shorts back.
Well, that would have been... I would have enjoyed that.
Well, as it is, I have a confession to make. I did what I am prone to do. I bought 3 postcards while I was there, one of which...
Well, that's you. Hey, big spender.
One of
Everyone who goes to Bermuda buys shorts, surely. You bought 3 postcards.
No, I bought some other stuff, but I mean, this is it was a postcard story I was going to
Okay.
regale you with. Not really regale, it's quite a
No, I'm happy to be
quite an
regaled.
unsatisfying story.
Because I lost my last gale.
I bought postcards and wrote them,
I blew
one
it.
of which was for this show, and I was going to post it to Absolutes, thinking it would get back here before I did.
Lovely.
And then I put it in my bag and brought it with me, because
People do that so often with postcards.
always
now.
do that, and it now makes me feel like my self-esteem is damaged, because now essentially I'm a postman, like long distance as well, for no money.
You're
whatsoever.
airmail.
Yeah, I'm
but
airmail.
you think about the carbon footprint you didn't contribute. So
Would it
make
have-
yourself feel good.
Would it have been that good though for 3? It would have been very insignificant.
It might
I
have come back on the same plane anyway.
Anyway,
True dat.
It could have. And I didn't put a lot on the message, because one thing I don't like about postcards is when you try and squash a lot of writing into, like, the gap where it's sort of
Oh
on the
no.
other side.
No,
where
I
the
don't like
address
it
is.
creeping under the address.
Well, I think that's the early version of Twitter, innit, where people are trying to squash it into a...
I think the joy of a
Dense.
postcard is you can get away with a very short message.
Yeah.
Big writing. What people want is they just want to be able to put the postcard on the mantelpiece so that I know people who go abroad.
Yeah, well,
That's all. They're not after the message.
I've brought the show. I've brought the
Well,
show a postcard.
that's what they do. Postcards say, I'm so special that when people are away having a break, they still think about me.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Albeit I didn't buy a stamp and post it, but I did think of you.
But I've never been to a country that's completely solved that system. Everywhere I've been, it's been easier to buy a postcard than a stamp to your country.
Yeah.
And that needs to be properly sorted.
Especially in the digital age, where I could have just taken a nice picture and pinged it on my phone that moment.
Well, exactly.
It's too slow.
But I'm a postcard enthusiast.
Are you? Well, you
Yeah.
enjoy this one. It's got a bridge on it. So there you go.
Well, that could have featured in my Christmas Day
I think that
church service.
that might be what I've written on the back.
Oh, I love an in gag on a postcard as well. Well, any kind of gag.
And yeah, 22 Mile Island, that while I was there hosted a marathon. That's funny, isn't it? I mean,
It was a bit of a curve at the end.
that is funny. I said, it's a nice island when people are prepared to run around bits of it twice during the marathon. That's nice, isn't it? It's nice.
Does anyone ever mention the triangle?
Whilst I was there, nobody mentioned it. I don't know if it's like one of those things where you go all that way and it becomes a bit of a hack thing to mention, or if just everyone forgot. So
Or they just don't talk about it?
maybe they don't talk about it much. But I flew back and I was quite
I thought
delayed.
Holly was referring to your bikini line.
We should explain to the listeners that I am only in a two-piece.
Yeah, exactly.
and there's, it is not kempt. I flew back, and British Airways had...
Ross Kempt, you mean?
I'm Ross Kempt, I'm unkempt.
It's the new word for Brazilian. I've had it Ross Kempt.
Ross Kempt. There was a really quite serious delay on the plane, and I didn't get an upgrade. I was kind of hoping that I would get upgraded. The guy who promoted the gig said, I've managed to get upgrades for the last 2 British comics, so on the way back you'll get an upgrade. Didn't get an upgrade, but yet... At Christmas time, I was walking along in Manchester, and a big issue seller, big issue please, and I said, no, it's all right. And he went, it's the Cochrane. I'll tell Frank on you. So, I mean, how come I get recognised by somebody selling the big issue, but nobody with any power? By the way, is he in regular contact with you?
He did. He faced me about it on his 4S. No, I haven't heard from any. I like the way you said, no, it's all right. Like
Well, I had a lot of shopping.
You were doing him a
stuff.
favour.
I had a lot of things at the time. I have a policy to always reply, because I saw a documentary.
Oh, no, I always reply.
Yeah, apparently
What?
it's
To what?
to people in the street that offer you things, because apparently, like, beggars and big issue sellers, people ignore them to the point where they can go a whole day and they start thinking they're invisible, and it's quite disturbing to their psychology. So I always say, no, thank you, I'm all right. Or whatever.
That would account for the fact there was one in my bathroom the other day. He'd obviously thought he was invisible, followed me home, thinking he'd get away with watching me get undressed, and boy, did he have a bit of a shock. I'll tell you that. I was doing a soap dish shanty at the time. I looked round. There he was.
Did he see you, Ross Kemp?
But I don't understand how you got recognised of being on a radio show.
Exactly.
So unless you would have been talking out loud and he would have had some sort of incredible recognition of your voice.
But people do spot. That's what. When you said no, thank you, I bet he thought, that's the
yeah, but that's
Cochrane.
after. But he would have said that. Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even still, that's incredibly clever.
Or he might occasionally he might have, like, Dave and insomnia and have seen me on television at times. I mean, I'm not saying...
I thought he was a homeless person.
Well...
He's got Dave.
I didn't go over and say, how can you be downloading a podcast? That seems a bit rude.
No, they don't like that. They won't be confronted with...
I don't know how he... Anyway,
I sat outside a cafe once and a man came over to me and said, have you got any spare change? And I don't like it when you're sitting outside a cafe. I think that's... I like to be passing traffic.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I won't. And he said, oh, come on, you're on telly. You was on telly the other night. You got money. I said, how do you know I was on telly? And he said, he sat down. He said, I'm not really homeless.
No.
He said, I'd just chuck the blanket over my shoulder and go out for a couple of hours on the night, get a bit of extra cash.
You're kidding.
And I said, don't tell me this. I'll never, ever give to the homeless again.
Oh, no.
Sure enough.
10 years later, they're still married.
And if he's listening, thank you so much. My conscience is clear.
Also, on the way back, it occurred to me that you've got the ideal physique for cabin crew, Frank.
What are you trying to say?
I'll tell you what I'm trying to say. I noticed one of the British Airways cabin crew had an incredibly wide back. I mean, huge. At one point, in the aisle, he did a 3-point turn.
Blimey.
To come back on himself. And
did it include him going,
yeah, he beat as he was reversing. Yeah, but what you really want is someone tall enough to reach up to the thing but not have to stoop, and someone lithe enough to turn on a sixpence. You are the ideal cabin crew physique. Think about that.
Well,
for
thanks.
A while.
You've got a wide back then.
No, I've got a very narrow back. My arms...
narrow for the aisle, don't
I am a
I
narrow
see,
back. It's a breed of sheep, I think. No, my arms join at the neck, basically. So, yeah, I could slip between two joined seats.
But
Have
you
you,
be able to pop stuff up in
have
the,
you ever
in the
thought about
hold.
shoulder pads?
Hilary Devey?
I've thought about them, yeah. But I have thought about... you can have pec implants.
Oh, yeah.
I've thought about... I don't know if I've ever thought I'm going to do it, but I've thought, I'd look so much better if I had pectorals.
I don't know. I don't know if you would.
With the swimming, you might end up buff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
No, I don't think I will.
Okay.
I might end up drowned. I suppose that'll fill me up a bit if my lungs are full of water. No, you don't think I'd look better with pectorals? How can you say that? What about kestrels?
Now you're talking.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Get 2 kestrels.
Pterodactyls?
One on each shoulder. People will never look at your lips. They'll be more
I'd love
interested in those
to go
guys.
out with a big gauntlet and a pterodactyl. It's my birthday on Saturday, so if anyone was wondering what to get me... Sorted.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.